Imagine the universe as a vast suburban sprawl. Now, we live in a galactic cul-de-sac called the local group. It's not the fanciest neighborhood. No glittering superclusters with infinity pools of quasars. Instead, we've got about 80 galaxies, most of them small, dim, and unglamorous like cosmic storage sheds nobody asked for. At the center of this neighborhood watch is the Milky Way, our galaxy, which is only impressive to us because, well, we live here. To an outside observer, it's just one more spiraling blur. That's the theme of the universe, by the way. Everything is very important to us and completely irrelevant to everything else. Religion often imagines humanity at the center of the cosmic stage. But when you're one faint spiral lost in a sea of billions, the notion that this place was built for us makes about as much sense as a cockroach thinking an entire skyscraper was designed so it could nibble the wallpaper glue. The Milky Way contains 100 to 400 billion stars, which, frankly, is a range so wide it makes you wonder if anyone's actually counting. We live in one of the spiral arms, in a suburb called the Orion Arm, comfortably far from the dangerous nightlife near the galactic center. If there is a cosmic landlord, he's got terrible zoning policies. Our galaxy is full of black holes, supernovae, and stars large enough to roast planets like marshmallows. And yet, Earth has managed to keep spinning long enough for us to invent TikTok. A miracle? No, just statistics. In a universe this large, something ridiculous was bound to happen somewhere. 2.5 million light-years away lives Andromeda, our nearest large galactic neighbor. If the Milky Way is a middle-aged dad galaxy, Andromeda is his larger, fitter brother who still jogs in the mornings and owns a better car. Andromeda contains perhaps 1 trillion stars, making the Milky Way look like it's compensating for something. And in about 4 billion years, Andromeda will collide with the Milky Way in a galactic smash-up so dramatic it deserves its own Michael Bay trailer. Of course, humans won't be around to see it. Religion likes to promise eternal life, but physics says we're more likely to be fossils by then, assuming we don't toast ourselves with climate change first. Next up is Triangulum, the local group's scrappy little third wheel. It's smaller than Andromeda and the Milky Way, but still big enough to look down on the countless dwarf galaxies, buzzing around like cosmic gnats. Triangulum may actually be gravitationally bound to Andromeda, which makes it less an independent galaxy and more like that awkward cousin who insists on crashing at your house indefinitely. And if you think the universe has some grand plan, just look at Triangulum wobbling around, clearly improvising. It's a reminder, the cosmos doesn't have blueprints. It's more like jazz. Messy, chaotic, and somehow working anyway. Most of the local group is made up of dwarf galaxies, tiny, scraggly collections of stars. They orbit the Milky Way and Andromeda like neglected satellites, many barely more than star clusters. The Large Magellanic Cloud and Small Magellanic Cloud are our most famous dwarf companions, visible from the southern hemisphere. Think of them as the Milky Way's clingy little siblings. And then there are dozens of others so faint they were only discovered recently, hiding like shy introverts at the cosmic party. If this universe was designed, someone had a weird sense of humor. 90% of the galaxies here are basically cosmic tumbleweeds. Now here's the fun bit. Most of the local group's mass isn't even visible. It's made of dark matter, the mysterious scaffolding that holds galaxies together. Without it, the Milky Way and Andromeda would fling stars into the void like confetti at a disastrous wedding. We don't know what dark matter actually is. But whatever it is, there's a lot of it. The irony is delicious. Religions claim there's an invisible hand guiding the universe. Turns out, physics agrees there's something invisible holding things together, but it's not God, it's a yet-to-be-identified form of matter. Which, let's be honest, is way funnier. The local group is held together by gravity, that clingy force that never lets go. Gravity is the reason Andromeda and the Milky Way are destined to collide. It's also the reason dwarf galaxies end up orbiting their bigger siblings instead of living independent lives. Imagine the local group as a family reunion. The Milky Way and Andromeda are the overbearing parents, Triangulum is the slightly anxious middle child, and the dwarf galaxies are all the toddlers running in circles. Gravity is the grandmother with an iron grip, making sure nobody leaves early. There's no divine hand here, just mass attracting mass. A truth both terrifying and liberating. We are bound not by commandments, but by the elegant inevitability of physics. The Milky Way and Andromeda are on a collision course. Don't panic. Galaxies are mostly empty space, so stars will rarely collide. Instead, they'll pass through each other like two flocks of birds mixing in midair. But the shapes of both galaxies will be torn apart, stretched, and mashed until they merge into a single giant elliptical galaxy, sometimes called Milkomeda. It's proof that permanence is an illusion. Everything, even galaxies, is temporary, which makes the religious promise of eternity sound suspiciously like false advertising. Our local group isn't alone. It's just one neighborhood in a larger supercluster. Beyond it lie countless other groups and clusters stretching out in all directions. The universe doesn't stop. There is no edge, no wall, no cosmic. You are now leaving God's creation sign. Just more and more galaxies, receding faster the farther you look. This is where atheism and awe collide beautifully. The universe doesn't need a designer to be breathtaking. Its very indifference makes it more magnificent, like a painting that wasn't painted, but still somehow exists. So, what's the point of the local group? Nothing. It doesn't have one. It simply is. Galaxies form, collide, fade. Stars ignite and die. Life occasionally bubbles up on tiny planets that will never meet each other. And yet here we are, a species smart enough to notice. That's the punchline. In an indifferent universe, we give it meaning ourselves. We invent humor, science, poetry, love, all temporary, all fragile, but all gloriously ours. The local group is our home not because it cares about us, but because it happens to contain us. Which, frankly, is the funniest and most liberating truth of all.